Hi, and welcome to today's worship leader tutorial for the song "O Come to the Altar" by Elevation Worship. This is on the album Here as in Heaven, and it's in the recording key of B. First of all, today I wanted to start out by talking about the different themes of the song and some of the biblical themes and the Bible verses where this is found. And so we're talking about forgiveness, redemption, being renewed through the work of Christ. And a lot of these scriptures are found in Isaiah today that we're actually going to be looking at. We've got Isaiah 61 verse 3, and it talks about receiving beauty for ashes. And it's an amazing passage. It's the same passage that's talking about Jesus and foreshadowing his earthly ministry. And it's saying that new life can be born out of the ashes, that God will give us beauty for ashes, and that God is actually able, he's more than able and capable of taking things that are dead and that lack life and bringing new life out of them. We also see in Isaiah 55:1, there's an invitation, and it's saying, "Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters, and you who have no money, come buy and eat." And it's this idea of if you thirst, if you're hungry, if you have lack in your life, come, and Jesus will meet those needs. And so those are the passages from Isaiah that we're learning where these themes are coming from for this song. We also have the story of the prodigal son in Luke 15, verses 11 through 32. And in that story, we see the prodigal son go far away from home, and the father open wide his arms and run to his son, welcoming him back after essentially insulting his father the worst way possible that he could, and asking for his inheritance and choosing to leave. And we see the father forgiving his son and welcoming him back with open arms and running to meet him. And it's just an amazing promise of Scripture that when we seek for God with all of our heart, we'll find him. And so just a beautiful illustration of God running to us when we turn to him. So now that we looked at some of the themes and some of the Bible passages where this song is grounded in, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about relating this to our corporate worship leading experience. The best thing, in my opinion, that you can do with this song, if let's say you're leading it acoustically, first of all, this is just a really powerful song. It's in 6/8 timing, and I love 6/8 timing just because of the power that it generates. So really focus on your strum pattern, just getting that a lot of space in that strum pattern. And that really, really helps to set the mood just by locking into that strum pattern, into that tempo. And so if you're leading this with a band, again, if you're doing that type of strum pattern on your guitar, I would encourage you to have your drummer really lock in on those eighth notes. Just really keep a nice, crisp beat, really, really powerful. Keep it simple because this song has a lot of power to it, a lot of passion, a lot of emotion to it too, talking about God's love for us and how we can respond to him. So if it gets overcomplicated with the different instruments or arrangement for the song, it can actually detract from that message. So that's just a little tip for thinking about arranging this with your band. As far as dynamics go, you definitely want to drop it low to the bridge like they do in the recording. That's really easily done on the acoustic as well as with the band. Once again, it's totally okay to have a lot of space in songs when appropriate, and just really let that kind of breathe. And what I personally like to do in this song is, even before you get to the bridge, is you could just hang a little bit on the part right before the bridge and just let that last note ring out, and just create some space. It just kind of lets it sink into people's hearts a bit more when you do that. And you can do that a few different places in this song. So that's just a little tip of something you could try going into the bridge. So there's really no complicated parts in the song that I could think of. There's a couple instrumentals that you can do. There is kind of just an interesting timing that I'll play for you as I lead this song. I'll explain it a little bit more as I lead it. That's the only place I can think of, which will make more sense in a second when I come back to that. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into the song. I'll just show you just an example of how you could lead this, and then we'll set you free to practice this and lead your team, or just have fun worshiping God on your own. So.
Are you hurting and broken within, overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Are you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. No, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Leave behind your regrets.
And so we go into verse 2 from there. And the part, I'm not going to play through all of that again, but I'm going to go into the chorus, into the interlude 2 actually, which is a little bit different. So we just did verse 2. We went back to the chorus twice actually, and we're going to do the interlude 2. And I just want to play the timing of that going into the bridge. That's the only tricky part of the song that I can really think of. So we got the interlude 2. Let me just finish out the chorus, and then we'll go into the interlude 2 here. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, what a Savior. Isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Oh, what a Savior. Isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's.
And then we go to the end of the song from there. So I just kind of built that bridge up into the chorus. What I wanted to point out though was that transitionary part going into the bridge, and it just kind of hung a little bit, and then we paused, and then we went into the bridge. It's really not that tricky. I just kind of wanted to show you the transition into that. I know that like on the chord chart that we use, for example, it looks just a little bit interesting because you only have half of a measure, and then you rest for half of a measure going into that bridge. So just the timing can be a little bit tricky, but it's really not that bad. So hopefully that example helped you. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're really glad that you could be with us, and we're excited to see you back here next time. Have fun taking what you learned today and applying it to leading worship on your own and with your team. See you next time.